Mr. Deputy Speaker, honourable members of Parliament, fellow laureates, dear friends. It is a great honour to accept the Right Livelihood Award on behalf of Campaign Against Arms Trade. The award is a valued tribute to the work of thousands of people in the UK, whose collective action has managed to expose, challenge and impede the arms trade since we began our work nearly 40 years ago. The trail of destruction wrought by weapons produced in the UK extends beyond the wars waged in Afghanistan and Iraq. It reaches from Gaza to Sri Lanka, from Egypt to East Timor. The UK spent 4 years promoting weapons to Gaddafi's regime in Libya. Then, in 2011, it bombed the tanks that just weeks before it had been preparing to upgrade. In the same year, it continued to promote and sell weapons to Egypt, even though 846 people were killed in the brutal suppression of protests. In Bahrain, the government's crackdown on activists continues to this day, but the UK still bolsters the regime with weapons sales and the message of support that such sales send. British weapons were used to kill civilians when Israel attacked Gaza in 2008. Yet the UK government has continued to arm the country ever since. In recent weeks, we have yet again counted the cost of those sales in human lives. Then we look to the UK's biggest weapons customer, Saudi Arabia. One of the most repressive regimes in the world, in 2011, Saudi Arabia deployed armoured vehicles made in the UK to help suppress the democratic uprising in Bahrain. Yet just last month, Prime Minister David Cameron visited the regime in person to try to secure still more weapons sales. That visit shows us that our governments are not just allowing the sales, but actively promoting them. In 1999, massive bribes were paid to ensure that South Africa bought Swedish and British planes at more than twice the price of their competitors. Campaign Against Arms Trade worked with South African campaigners and Svenska Freds to expose what was going on and highlight the devastating impact this deal had on public spending and democracy in South Africa. With others in the European Network Against the Arms Trade, we make sure that the annual general meetings of key arms companies are dominated by questions of corruption and ethics. We gain inspiration from each other's stories of action, from the Swedish campaigners who shut down an arms factory for a day, and from the German campaign to stop the secretive deal of 200 tanks to Saudi Arabia. How do they justify pouring public resources into promoting arms sales to repressive regimes? We're told that our arms controls are the strictest in the world, that all we need is an international treaty to bring everyone else up to our standard. But our standard is nothing to aspire to. It is to sell to almost anyone who will buy, be they dictator, human rights abuser, or NATO warmonger. On paper, EU arms controls aren't that bad. They say that we won't sell weapons if there's a clear risk they'll be used for internal repression or external aggression. If these rules were actually followed, we probably wouldn't have much of an arms trade. But the rules aren't followed. The fact is that no arms controls or treaty will work while our governments are actively promoting weapons sales around the world. The UK government has an office of 150 people dedicated to selling arms, far more than the staff they employ for any other industry. We're told that the arms industry is essential for jobs in the economy. In the UK, the government uses grossly inflated and out-of-date jobs figures. It knows this is the only way it could rally public support. Yet how many other export sectors receive a £700 million subsidy from the taxpayer, worth over £9,000 per job? We're told that we need to export arms for our national security. Yet the UK sold weapons to Argentina weeks before the Falklands War. It sold arms to Saddam Hussein months before the first Gulf War. It actively courted Gaddafi weeks before going to war with him last year. Ordinary people know this is wrong. Only 6% in the UK thought it was right to arm Gaddafi. You can either promote weapons or you can promote human rights. You can't do both. On several occasions, we have taken on the government and arms companies in the courts, including challenging the government's decision to stop corruption investigations into BAE Systems deals with Saudi Arabia. As a result, the name of BAE Systems has become indelibly associated with corruption. Its fear of legal action means it now avoids one of the key taxpayer subsidies it used to enjoy: government insurance to underwrite its deals. Next year, the world's arms industry plans to descend on London for a huge arms fair, which will bring together tyrants, human rights abusers, countries from both sides of conflicts, and companies pushing the latest killing technology. We will bring all our resources to bear on exposing and resisting it so that it can no longer take place. At a time of massive cuts to public services, it is vital that the huge financial support taxpayers give to the arms trade is questioned.